There are moments when a house does not feel like home. You walk into a room, and something feels heavy. The air does not flow. The silence is not peaceful, but tense, as if the walls still remember a conversation that should never have happened. We don't always see this energy, but we feel it. In our mood, in our breathing, in the way we react to small things. This experience is not imagination. It is perception. It is the recognition that a home is not just a physical structure, but a living container for our emotions, habits, and past versions of ourselves. This idea is deeply rooted in modern psychology. The psychoanalyst Carl Jung proposed that our external world is intrinsically linked to our internal one. The spaces we inhabit, he suggested, are projections of our own unconscious minds and silent mirrors reflecting our inner landscape. In Jungian thought, the house is a powerful archetype, a universal symbol representing the self or psyche. How we arrange, maintain, and feel within our living space speaks volumes about our mental and emotional condition. A home, like the mind, can become cluttered not only with objects, but with vibrations that linger. A bright, orderly home may suggest mental clarity and peace, while a neglected, cluttered environment can often mirror internal stress, indecision, or unresolved feelings. You may have experienced this yourself. During periods of significant personal change, there is an almost instinctive urge to tidy, declutter, or rearrange. This is because, as if by synchronicity, reorganizing our physical space helps us reorganize our inner world. Conversely, when feeling overwhelmed, we might notice our home becoming messier, as if our internal state is spilling outwards. This is not just homemaking, it is, as one writer describes it, soul-making, the power to connect with your deep spirit or soul. The script of your home is a dialogue. The heavy feeling or the mess is not a passive symptom, it is an active communication. The internal state spilling outwards is the psyche's way of making the unconscious conscious so that you can engage with it. This is why the first step is always to notice what your home feels like. Without changing anything, simply observe. This awareness is the beginning of the conversation. Your home is a biofeedback system. By learning to read its silent messages, you are learning to read the messages of your own unconscious. This is where the wisdom of Feng Shui breathes gently into our lives. It reminds us that energy moves like water, always flowing, always responding, always transforming. Feng Shui is not, at its heart, about superstition or rearranging furniture by rules. It is, as the original script defines it, a relationship. It is the ancient Chinese practice of arranging spaces to create balance and harmony with the natural world. The goal is to harness qi, or qi, the vital life force or energy that flows through all things. When this energy becomes stagnant, it does not disappear. It settles, it thickens, it weighs on us. The entire purpose of this practice is to manage the quality of the qi in your environment, which exists in two primary forms. First is sheng qi, the life-affirming energy. This is beneficial, vibrant energy, described as gentle, meandering, and life-affirming like a slow, healthy river. It is the energy of a sunlit room with fresh air and living plants. Sheng qi fosters harmony, growth, happiness, and well-being. The second is sha qi, often called the killing breath. This perfectly describes the tense, heavy atmosphere you feel in a room that is not at peace. Sha qi is not just one thing. It manifests in two primary ways. One is stagnant sha qi, which is energy that is trapped. It is caused by clutter, dark corners, disused areas. This trapped energy leads directly to feelings of lethargy, low mood, and feeling stuck. The other is aggressive sha qi, which is energy that moves too quickly or harshly. It is created by long hallways, sharp corners, or a front door and back door aligned, which causes qi to leave your home too fast. This form of sha qi creates tension and anxiety. Nature, however, has given us healers so simple that we often overlook their power. Plants are the living solution. They are a primary tool in Feng Shui to nourish your energy and, through their own quiet alchemy, transform sha qi into sheng qi. When a plant enters a space, something subtle happens. The air softens, The edges of the room lose their tension. This is qi responding to life. Plants do not fight stagnant energy. They breathe it, they drink it, they transform it. This ancient wisdom finds a powerful partner in modern science. Biologist Edward O. Wilson's biophilia hypothesis posits that our connection to nature and living things is in our DNA. Yet, with our increasing reliance on technology and urban lifestyles, we are spending less time outdoors than ever. With some reports showing 90% of adults are constantly online, the heavy, stagnant, stuck feeling of qi is not just an ancient mystical concept. It is the modern, psychological, and physiological experience of a biophilic deficit. The heaviness in the room is the feeling of our evolutionary biology being starved of the natural world. Therefore, the plants that cleanse are not just fixing the room's energy, they are restoring a fundamental human-nature relationship that has been severed. Feng Shui and biophilia are two languages describing the same essential truth. To heal our space is to heal our connection to life itself. Today, we will walk slowly through the world of plants that cleanse, protect, and soothe the energy of your home, not as decorations, but as companions in the quiet art of living. The first plant we welcome is not rare or dramatic. It is quiet, humble, steady. Lavender does not simply smell good. It shifts the emotional frequency of a room. Its presence is an invitation to rest. It whispers to your nervous system, "You can exhale now. You are safe here." Lavender teaches that cleansing does not always mean force. Sometimes, cleansing means calming. This connection between lavender and purification is ancient. Its very name comes from the Latin word lavare, meaning to wash. The Romans famously used it in their public baths, not just for its scent, but for its perceived cleansing and healing properties for both body and mind. For centuries, lavender has been a premier spiritual protectant. In medieval Europe, it was hung above doorways to protect against evil spirits and the evil eye. In Spain and Portugal, it was thrown into bonfires on St. John's Day to cleanse and repel dark forces. In folk traditions, it was placed under pillows to ward off nightmares and encourage peaceful, healing dreams. This history establishes lavender not just as a pleasant scent, but as an ancient and potent spiritual purifier. What folklore understood as protection, modern neuroscience understands as physiology. The safety lavender offers is a measurable neurological event. The aroma of lavender, a fragrance consisting of volatile chemicals, interacts directly with the limbic system, the part of the brain controlling emotions and behavior. The key active compounds in lavender, linalool and linalool acetate, have been shown in numerous studies to be potent anxiolytics, anxiety reducers. When inhaled, linalool calms down the nervous system by modulating neurotransmitters and downregulating the excitation. It inhibits the release of acetylcholine, a mechanism that decreases blood pressure and slows other energy-demanding metabolic processes. The ultimate goal of this alteration, as research states, is to switch the sympathetic tone of the nervous system to a parasympathetic one. It also appears to increase parasympathetic activity, which helps alleviate the physical symptoms of anxiety. In other words, lavender's scent literally switches your body from its fight or flight, sympathetic, state to its rest and digest, parasympathetic, state. The ancient evil eye is a perfect folk metaphor for a state of being afflicted by external stress and hypervigilance. Lavender's protection, then, is its neurological function. It does not build a magical shield, it disarms the perceiver. By calming your nervous system, it breaks the cycle of anxiety. The peace it brings is the protection. The script notes lavender's soft violet color. This is no accident. In many spiritual traditions, the color purple is tied to the crown chakra, Sahasrara, located at the top of the head. This chakra is linked to higher consciousness, spiritual awakening, and enlightenment. The spiritual awakening of the crown chakra is the felt experience of moving from a state of base, anxious survival, sympathetic, to one of calm, higher consciousness, parasympathetic. Lavender is the bridge. To bring this calming energy into your place of rest, you can create a simple lavender sachet, a direct echo of the folklore that used it to ward off nightmares. First, gather your materials. You will need breathable fabric like cotton or linen, dried lavender blooms, and optionally, uncooked rice, which offsets the sometimes too strong smell of the lavender and gives your sachets a little heft. Next, create the sachet by combining 2 parts dried lavender with 1 part rice in a bowl. Cut 2 small squares of fabric and sew 3 sides together. Turn the pouch right side out, fill it with the lavender rice mixture, and sew the final side closed. Finally, use it for calm. Tuck it inside your pillowcase, slip it under your pillow, or place it on your nightstand. As you drift to sleep, the gentle aroma will support your nervous system's transition into a state of deep rest, calling dreams that heal rather than disturb. Now, the energy shifts. From softness to protection, from calming to boundary, Rosemary steps forward like a guardian, not aggressive but alert, clear, decisive. Its scent clears mental fog and reminds the spirit to stand tall. It is the plant to place near the entrance of your home, where the outside world becomes inside. It will filter what enters. This guardian metaphor is Rosemary's ancient, defining story. Its reputation is built on 2 pillars: remembrance and protection. For remembrance, in ancient Greece, scholars wore rosemary garlands when studying, believing it sharpened the mind. It is, and always has been, the herb of remembrance and wisdom. For physical protection, rosemary's power was considered profoundly physical. During the Middle Ages, it was burned as incense to ward off evil spirits and protect against the plague. As late as the high 4th century, French doctors recommended burning rosemary in hospitals to purify the air. For spiritual protection, in Wiccan and pagan traditions, it is a staple for safeguarding the home and family. It was, and still is, a primary guardian herb, planted near the entryway to act as a spiritual guardian, warding off negative energy. This protective reputation is also consecrated in Christian folklore. Legend holds that the Virgin Mary, during the flight to Egypt, laid her blue cloak over a white-blossomed rosemary bush, and the flowers turned blue. Because of this, rosemary became a symbol of her divine protection and blessings. The scripts claim that rosemary clears mental fog is not just poetry. It is a precise description of its observable effect. Modern research has identified a key component in rosemary's aroma, mot damsiniol. A study from Northumbria University found that as soon as a person breathes in rosemary's aroma, this compound is detected in their bloodstream. This mot damsiniol is thought to boost brain power by keeping a neurotransmitter associated with memory in good working order. Further studies confirm this. Research has shown that exposure to the aroma of rosemary is associated with statistically significantly improved memory speed. Higher amounts of the aroma led to increases in both speed and accuracy on cognitive tasks. In short, the aroma of rosemary can positively influence cognition. Rosemary's protection is its cognitive enhancing effect. The guardian at the gate is a metaphor for a clear, sharp mind. The folklore links it to remembrance, and the science proves it enhances cognition and memory. It filters what enters by bestowing the alert, clear, decisive state needed to remember yourself, hold firm boundaries, and cut through the mental fog of stress, distraction, or confusion. The script guides us to a ritual. Burn a small sprig of dried rosemary and walk slowly from room to room. The air will lighten as if a window has opened. This is a powerful form of smoke cleansing. It is important to use this practice with cultural awareness. The term smudging specifically refers to sacred ceremonies from Native American traditions, often using plants like white sage, and the commodification of these practices is problematic. However, smoke cleansing itself is a near universal human practice. The indigenous European tradition, particularly from Celtic and Scottish folk practice, is called seining. Seining uses local, bioregional herbs like rosemary, juniper, or thyme for purification and blessing. To perform a rosemary seining ritual, first, prepare by cleaning your space physically. Then, crack open a window or door. This is critical. It lets the old energy and any excess smoke flow out. Next, ignite the sprig. Hold a bundle or small sprig of dried rosemary and light the tip with a candle or match. Let it catch flame, then gently blow it out so it smolder, and release fragrant smoke. Then waft the smoke. Walk slowly from room to room. Use your hand or a feather to guide the smoke into every corner from the floor to the ceiling, paying special attention to doorways, windows, and any areas that feel heavy. Finally, complete the ritual. Once you feel the energy shift, place the smoldering sprig in a heat-proof bowl to extinguish safely. You will find the air will lighten, both aromatically and energetically. Mint enters differently. Mint is joy. Mint is flow. Mint is the laughter that returns after silence. Where lavender soothes and rosemary guards, mint reawakens. It is connected to the element of water, movement, circulation, and refreshment. Where energy is stagnant, mint brings flow. That beautiful, poetic line, the laughter that returns after silence, is, in fact, the precise retelling of mint's origin myth. In Greek mythology, the nymph Minth was the beautiful lover of Hades, the god of the underworld. When Hades brought Persephone to his realm, the silence of the underworld was broken by a jealous rage. Persephone, or, in some versions, her mother Demeter trampled Minth underfoot and destroyed her. Minth was silenced, crushed into the dirt. Hades, grieving and unable to reverse the transformation, did the only thing he could. He bestowed Minth with a sweet smell so that she would continue to delight those who came in contact with her. This myth is the key to understanding Mint's energy. Mint's joy is not a fragile, delicate joy. It is a resilient joy. The myth teaches that even when trampled and destroyed by conflict, jealousy, or sorrow, the silence, one's essential, beautiful essence, cannot be extinguished. In fact, it is the crushing itself that releases the bright, shocking fragrance. Mint, therefore, is the ultimate teacher of resilience. It is the laughter that proves life and sweetness will return, even from the underworld. The reawakening that mint provides is also a physical sensory experience. Its cool and refreshing taste can help awaken the senses and promote alertness. Its primary component, menthol, has a measurable effect on the brain. The scent of mint stimulates the hippocampus, the part of the brain that controls memory and learning. It is a natural energizer that triggers you to wake up and pay attention. Studies have shown that peppermint aroma can boost energy levels and support cognitive performance. This is the scientific basis for mint's ability to open a window where thoughts loop endlessly. The script connects mint to growth and prosperity. This is a core principle of Feng Shui. Mint is considered a wood element plant, which symbolizes growth and prosperity. In this tradition, it is said to stimulate financial growth and attract wealth. Its vibrant, fast-growing nature is a physical embodiment of Shang-Chi, active, positive energy, and abundance. Placing it in the kitchen, where fire and nourishment meet, or in the southeast corner of your home, the Feng Shui area of prosperity, activates this energy. To harness this energy, a simple ritual can be performed, combining its sensory uplift with its Feng Shui purpose. For placement, place a healthy mint plant in your kitchen or on your desk. For activation, based on traditional money-drawing spells, place fresh mint leaves in your purse or wallet. You can also perform an anointing by rubbing the leaves over any area where money is kept while visualizing your money increasing. Each time you water the plant or touch its leaves, you are reminded that abundance is not forced. It grows where joy has room to breathe. There is another plant whose presence is older than memory. It is humble, but its energy is unmistakable. This is rue, and as the script warns, it is not a gentle plant. Its scent is sharp, described by botanists as strong, bitter, and even rank-smelling. Its energy is precise, almost surgical in the way it cuts through emotional residue. Many homes carry the echo of arguments, fear, and words that still hang in the air. Rue does not soften those echoes. It dissolves them. If lavender is the exhale, rue is the cleansing storm. Rue's history is a study in power and paradox. It has been used on both sides of the fence, in magic and witchcraft, defined by its extreme contradictory roles. It is perhaps the most famous anti-magic herb in European folklore, considered a powerful defense against witches, earning it the common name witchbane. It is the most potent herb used to ward off the evil eye, a belief in negative energy caused by envy or malice. To this day in Italy, people wear a silver charm called the Cimaruta, sprig of rue, for protection against it. Conversely, rue is also known as the herb of grace. This name originated from the Catholic Church, which adopted the pagan herb and used a sprig of rue to sprinkle holy water over parishioners to bless them. It is also the herb of regret. The very word rue means to repent or lament. In one story, a woman whose lover married another threw rue at the couple, cursing, "May you rue this day as long as you live." How can one plant be the herb of grace and a curse? A witchbane and a powerful witch's herb? The script provides the answer. Its energy is surgical. Rue's power is not good or bad. It is potent and neutral. Its function is not to soften, but to consecrate. It dissolves all lingering energy, returning a space to an energetic ground zero. This is its surgical grace. It cuts away everything to allow for a pure, new beginning. This is the cleansing storm, a process that is often violent or painful, but necessary for true, fresh starts. It is the grace of repentance, which requires the painful dissolving of the old self. The script's warning that it is not a gentle plant must be taken with extreme, literal seriousness. Ruta graveolens is dangerous. Regarding external handling, the plant's volatile oil that reacts with the sun. If you handle the fresh plant, its oils can get on your skin. If that skin is then exposed to sunlight, a severe reaction called photodermatitis can occur, causing itching, burning, red spots, and/or large blisters. This reaction can be quite severe and scarring. Always wear gloves and long sleeves when handling or pruning fresh rue. Regarding internal ingestion, it is unsafe and toxic to take rue internally. It is a powerful abortifacient, and its historical use for this purpose was a very dangerous practice that may cause death to the mother as well as the baby. It can cause uterine contractions, which can cause a miscarriage, and can lead to serious kidney and liver damage and death. This plant must be kept away from children and pets, and should never, under any circumstances, be ingested. Given the severe safety warnings, the best way to use rue's protective power is in a no-touch manner, honoring its history as a guardian talisman. First, prepare. While wearing protective gloves, cut a small, fresh sprig of rue. Then, for placement, follow traditional protection magic and hang fresh rue by the front door, or rub the gloved leaves on the outside of the doorframe. You can also hang a sprig above a window. The effect is to create a Cimaruta for your home, a talisman that draws on rue's potent history as witchbane, an evil eye protector. It allows the plant to dissolve negativity at the threshold without you ever having to risk harmful contact. There is another plant whose magic is quieter, slower, deeper, a plant that does not push or shield. It simply holds. The fern. Ferns belong to the places where water whispers and shadows sway. They remember forests older than cities. When you bring a fern into your home, you are inviting in the memory of stillness that existed before human worry. This plant soothes the quiet turbulence that lives beneath the surface, the thoughts we don't say aloud. The fern's magic is in its form. It is a living fossil, an ancient plant whose lineage stretches back over Bacham Salmui million years, long before the first flowers evolved. Its sensory appeal is one of texture and motion. It has lush, feathery fronds with a delicate lace-like quality. The most captivating process is the unfurling of its new fronds, or fiddleheads. Watching these coiled forms, slowly stretching to greet the world, is, as the script notes, like watching the shape of a deep breath. This slow, scroll-like opening is a natural meditation focus, a physical metaphor for perpetual growth. Because ferns are so ancient, they reproduce by mysterious and hidden spores, not by visible seeds or flowers. To early botanists and folklorists, this was a profound magical mystery. They reasoned that since no one could find a fern seed, the fern seed must itself be invisible. This led to the widespread belief that possessing this fern seed would grant the bearer the power of invisibility. This was famously referenced by Shakespeare in Henry IV, Part 1, When a character preparing for a robbery boasts, "We have the receipt of fern seed, we walk invisible." This primordial mystery and fascination with the invisible drove the Victorian era into a fern fever, or pteridomania, an obsessive craze for collecting and displaying these ancient plants. What does this ancient folklore of invisibility mean for us today? The script provides the key. The fern soothes thoughts we don't say aloud, and its leaves arch inward. We live in a constantly online world of hypervisibility, noise, and performance. The invisibility the fern offers is not a magical cloak. It is a psychological sanctuary. It is the profound, healing permission to not be seen. When you place a fern in your peace corner, you create a space where you can retreat from the performance of everyday life. The fern, which does not demand anything and asks only to be seen, teaches you to simply exist without an audience. This is the peace of being, not performing. This is the stillness that existed before human worry. It is popularly claimed that ferns purify the air. Some studies, particularly those in controlled lab settings, have shown that plants like the Boston fern can be very efficient at removing indoor toxins like formaldehyde and xylene. However, as an expert must note, this benefit is often overstated. Broader reviews of real-world studies have found mixed evidence, and in some cases, have debunked the myth that potted plants can help purify indoor air in a meaningful way. The fern's true health benefit is not its debatable chemical filtration, it is its biophilic and psychological function. Studies confirm that the presence of ferns can help reduce stress levels and create a calming atmosphere. The healing happens in softness, by soothing your nervous system, not by scrubbing the air. And then, there is the plant that carries the memory of rebirth itself. A plant that teaches, without words, that nothing truly ends, it only changes form. This is the Rose of Jericho, also known as the resurrection plant. When dry, it looks like a closed fist, a tangle of brown roots, small, brittle, as though lifeless. It is a tumbleweed-like ball of vegetation, but place it in water, and slowly, gently, without rush, it unfurls. The central magic of this plant is the visual and tactile process of its revival. It is a seemingly miraculous recovery. When placed in a bowl of water, the seemingly dead bundle of vegetation unfurls, transforming from a crispy, withered ball into a soft green rosette, or soft, fern-like plant. This happens over hours, not minutes. Healing has its own rhythm, and as the script so beautifully states, it is not resuscitation, it is remembrance. This physical ability is a one-to-one match for its spiritual symbolism. It is universally revered as a symbol of rebirth. In Christianity, it is a powerful symbol of the resurrection of Christ. Legend holds that the plant was in bloom during Jesus' life, withered away at his death, and blossomed once again 3 days later at his resurrection. It is often displayed at Christmas and Easter to commemorate this cycle. In African diaspora religions like Santeria, Voodoo, the plant is held sacred. It is used in rituals to ward off negative energies and attract abundance and good fortune. It is sometimes associated with the Orisha Shango, the spirit of thunder and lightning. The script provides one of the most profound metaphors for the healing process. When the water grows cloudy, change it. That cloudiness is the energy it has absorbed on your behalf. Do not be alarmed by this. It means the work is being done. This is the plant's greatest teaching. Healing is not a clean or sterile process. The cloudy water is the physical, visible proof of the emotional residue, the old memories, and the stagnant sha-chi being drawn out of your life. The Rose of Jericho is a talisman that makes the unseen seen. It proves that renewal requires you to actively engage with your own cloudiness. You must be willing to acknowledge the residue, and then have the courage and self-love to change the water, to physically and intentionally pour out what no longer serves you. This ritual brings the metaphor to life, transforming the plant into a spiritual tool. First, awaken the plant by placing the dry, dormant bulb in a glass bowl of cold or lukewarm water. Do not use hot water, as it can damage the plant. Second, witness as it begins to spread its branches wide open over the next several hours. Third, Allow it to absorb energy. Leave the plant in the water. As the script and folklore note, it will absorb negative energy. The water may become cloudy or develop a slight odor. This is the work being done. Fourth, cleanse the energy. When the water seems cloudy or heavy, change the water often. This charged water is now a spiritual tool in its own right. Decant it. Fifth, use the water. This water is now believed to hold the cleansing power. Sprinkle the water around the home to cleanse it of all negativity and bring peace. You can also use it to wash floors, doorways, and anoint candles, reinforcing the boundaries of your home. Finally, rest the plant. After a few days, no more than 7, remove the plant from the water and let it dry out completely. It will curl back into its closed fist, ready to rest until you need to begin the cycle of renewal again. Now, let your attention expand. Notice any corner that feels tired, any shelf that feels forgotten. These are the corners asking for life. The script calls this your peace corner. This is not interior design. It is the creation of a personal altar. It is an act of intention gardening, a mindful and spiritual practice where plants are chosen and nurtured based on the energies and meanings they represent. Whether you want peace, love, or strength, the plants in your home become living symbols of those desires. The deepest magic is not in the plant itself, but in your relationship to it. The small rituals, watering, misting, checking the soil, trimming leaves, become profound acts of mindfulness. Caring for plants connects you to the cycles of life and can be a therapeutic retreat. This is a form of meditation, a self-care ritual that actively reduces anxiety. The next time you water your plants, try this. Practice mindful breathing. As you inhale, silently sending love and appreciation to the earth. As you exhale, feeling a sense of calm and connection, link your breath to the plant's life. This is the synthesis of the entire practice. The plants do not fix you. You co-create the calm qi with them. Feng Shui is relationship. By planting figurative seeds of intention and nurturing them with your presence, you are actively and literally cultivating your inner world in visible form. To make these concepts immediately actionable, here is a simple guide for placing these companions. For the entryway or front door, the energetic goal is protection and filtering. This area is the mouth of qi, where energy enters, so the goal is to filter sha qi and invite sheng qi. The recommended plants are rosemary, the guardian at the gate, and rue hung above as a guardian against the evil eye. The rationale is that the entryway is the gateway for energy, and plants here guard against negative energy, and sha qi, with rosemary specifically, filtering what enters. For the kitchen, the goal is nourishment and abundance, as it is the center of health and prosperity, and the aim is to activate vibrant, reawakening energy. The recommended plant is mint, which is a primary feng shui plant for growth and prosperity. The script places mint here, where fire and nourishment meet, and as a wood element plant, it is believed to stimulate financial growth. In the bedroom, the goal is rest and restoration, which needs yin, calm, soft energy. The recommended plants are lavender, the ultimate invitation to rest, whose parasympathetic effect is pure yin, and the fern, with its soft and feathery structure that promotes yin. You should avoid prickly or thorny plants, which create active yang energy and can interrupt peaceful sleep. For the home office or study, the goal is focus and clarity, requiring sheng qi for alert, clear, decisive thought. The recommended plant is rosemary, which is scientifically proven to boost brain power and memory via mote, damsineol. Feng Shui in an office aims to enhance productivity, and rosemary's alert, clear energy aligns perfectly with this goal. Finally, for a meditation space or peace corner, the goal is stillness and renewal. This is a sacred space for letting go and remembrance. The recommended plants are the fern, the icon of stillness that existed before human worry and inward reflection, and the Rose of Jericho, the ultimate teacher of rebirth and renewal. This space is for inner world cultivation, where the fern provides psychological sanctuary, and the Rose of Jericho provides a mindfulness tool for the ritual of rebirth. There is a moment in this journey where the house stops, feeling like a place you live in, and begins to feel like a living being that lives with you. When walls are no longer boundaries, but an embrace. When silence is no longer empty, but full. This is the gentle truth we arrive at. You are not decorating your home, you are cultivating your inner world in visible form. Your home is your mirror. This is the Jungian truth that your space is a reflection of your psyche. Your plants are your companions. This is the biophilic truth that your DNA requires a connection to the natural world. Your breath is your anchor. This is the neuroscientific truth that your breath and scent can actively shift your nervous system from a state of anxiety to one of peace. Your presence is your medicine. The home becomes peaceful not when nothing is happening, but when everything is allowed to unfold with tenderness. The peace you seek is not somewhere else. It is already here, waiting to be noticed. The plants are not bringing peace from outside. They are reminding you of the peace that was always yours. Breathe. Feel your body. Feel the room around you. Let the peace that is already here rise to the surface. The calm chi begins here,